so much alone, so clear he's seen that there's more to own than what it takes to fit in here. So
Welcome
keep
to Talk About.
close,
I am your host,
stand
John
by.
Griffith. Joining me tonight is a very talented young man by the name of Phil Putnam. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
We saw a little clip of your video there.
I appreciate the young comment. So,
yeah, well, comparatively anyway. It's all relative. Okay, so you're a singer-songwriter,
I
pianist.
am, yes.
And you have, your current single is?
Yeah, my current single, I'm No Prize, is it's on #2 on the Logo MTV Click List Top 10 Video Countdown. So, which is like TRL but gayer. I mean, if TRL could be gayer, then that's what the Click List is. So, yeah.
So yeah,
currently sweeping the nation across. Yeah.
Very nice. You came to music a little bit later than a lot of people in the industry. Yeah, at what age did you start playing?
Well, I had played saxophone a couple years in elementary school, like 4th and 5th grade, and I have to say, like, saddling a 4th grader with a tenor saxophone case to carry home from school every day, not the most inspired idea. But I didn't really start singing until I was a freshman in high school, which I was 14. And so that's really where I started singing. And then piano came along in my first year of college. So I taught myself to play piano when I was 18. And, you know, voice was always just hard work in the way that it came about. I don't think I had all that much natural talent for voice, but piano was the total opposite. I've never had a lesson. I just knew how to play from day one. And so that's where my main musical talents found their start.
Okay. Yeah, my grandfather was like that, but I never got that gene.
Yeah.
So, and you're a California boy?
I am, yep. I'm from Northern California, from Sacramento, born and raised, and now I live in New York.
Okay. You've been here since the early days of '09?
Since January.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what's funny is I didn't realize this until about a month after I moved, but the day that I moved here in January of this year was 1 year to the day from the day that I was in New York for a business trip and started thinking about the possibility of moving here.
Okay.
So, I mean, once I started opening up to the idea, things just moved very quickly, and the timing turned out to be perfect.
Right. Well, I mean, career-wise, things have moved pretty quickly for you also.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's funny, you know, like this. I've been doing this for about a decade now, and I've put out, you know, 6 albums in the last 8 years, and so it's funny because you'll work for as long as you work until things start to break, and then all of a sudden things just speed up.
Right.
You know, and
so you're a 10-year overnight sensation.
Pretty much, yeah. So I like it though. I love the hard work. I love the time that it takes because you really have to choose, like, again and again. This is what I want. You know, if it just happened right away, then you may not be as clear on, you know, how far you want it to go and exactly what you wanted it to look like. So when it takes so long, I appreciate that fact because it's really allowed me to become clear and become committed again and again and again to what I'm doing. So,
and well, we've talked a little bit outside of this show, and you work pretty freaking hard.
I do, yeah, I do. I like to keep busy. And I mean, I'm a productivity guy. I mean, as a creator, as an artist, we do have that need to make something out of nothing. You know, that's our gift, and that's what we can offer to others around us. And so there's something to keeping active, I think, that's just sort of born into all artists.
Okay. And well, I mean, what is the development process for you?
In terms of like a record or something?
Well, in terms of, well, it starts with the song, so let's start with the song.
Well, the songwriting is really the most important part, in my opinion. And really, if there were no songs, there'd be no music industry. I mean, there's nothing to sing if nobody's creating music, you know? So that's really the time when I am the most hands-off. Inspiration comes when it comes, and I take it more as a servant. You know, I'm really there to serve the work. And so that can go anywhere from months, you know, to years. There are some songs that I've worked on for years before they were done, and some that are done in 15 minutes. So I'm very much a receiver when it comes to the songwriting. And then once I really know what the record is saying and I'm confident that I have the songs that need to be on whatever project I'm working on, then I'll really start to put together the record itself. And that has an identity too. You know, each song has its own personality, but then there's a reason why they're grouped together on a record and why some songs stay and why some songs get put off until the next record. So then we really start the process of, I pick my personnel, I pick my band and my producer and, you know, my engineers and my designers and all the people that it takes to make a record. And then the process just, you know, keeps going forward from there. And what's great is it's all creative. I mean, it's all a larger expression of our creative energy, but every phase in the process has a unique identity to itself. You know, like the recording process is very different, obviously, than the writing process. So it's fun because you're working on the same project for 2 to 3 years, but you do get different phases. And so for me, it keeps me energized. It's not like 3 years of the same exact thing.
Right.
Yeah.
But the finished product, is that sort of a snapshot of where you were during that period of time?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, the song, it's really a snapshot of where I was at during the songwriting period. Now, a record might come out, you know, anywhere from 1 to 2 years after I've written the songs, if that's kind of standard for how I've been making records for the past 10 years. So you're getting, like, my journal, essentially. You know, but it's so funny because you work for, like 2 to 3 years on this project, and it's a huge expression of who you are, and then it's just like neatly condensed in this 5 by 5 inch plastic square, and you're like, wow, okay, I feel a little small, you know. So but it's good. It's a good balance of perspective, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, the current CD, Casualties, it strikes for me an introspective tone.
Oh yeah,
a lot of it.
Yeah.
And I think I emailed this to you that, you know, it's my walking and thinking CD.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, not that there isn't anything happy and bouncy in there, because there is.
Yeah.
But just that's where my point of identification with you is with the CD.
Yeah.
And in getting feedback from other people who've bought the CD and listened, is that a similar perspective?
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, the introspection is a common thread through all the work that I've done. And, you know, that's just where I live lyrically, and that tends to be the way that I express myself. So back in my second or third record, you know, I was realizing, gosh, I write these really sort of heavy lyrics in some cases. I want to make sure it doesn't weigh down the listener too much. So that's a lot of where my musical style came from, why I want the arrangements to be enjoyable and just this treat for the listener, whether it's a slow song or fast song. I wanted it to be something that was highly listenable and engaging, so that if they didn't want to fully engage with the lyrics at that point, they could attach to the music. Because otherwise you're just going to have a bunch of people like crying and sad, you know, all the time. And that's not really, I mean, crying and sad is great. I love it. But it's not really, you know, what I want my fans to always feel like.
Right. And just having gotten to know you a little bit, I know it's not what you're completely about.
No, I'm not the guy that sits there, you know, and like relishing my pain, you know. And I think that raises a good point, though. I think a lot of songwriters, they almost resist happiness or resist things that they don't associate with true artistic expression, because they feel like if they do engage in those sides of life, it'll ruin their art, when in fact it'll just broaden the range of expression that they can work from.
Yeah, well, I mean, the art that hits me the hardest is art that's based in truth.
Yeah, absolutely.
And happiness is part of life. I hope.
Absolutely.
You know, I hope people are having some
seriously.
happiness. Otherwise, they are the ones who are crying in the corner, curled up in a ball. But,
yeah,
I do very often. But it is the music career what you always wanted to do? Is it, and
well, no, actually. I actually am very surprised that I'm doing what I'm doing, to be honest. It wasn't really what I thought I would be doing when I was a kid. So I had dreams of, you know, curing AIDS or curing leukemia or working with Tourette syndrome. I have Tourette syndrome.
Okay.
And so a lot of my dreams when I was a kid were, I think, were more medical. Okay. And then in high school, I considered being a lawyer. But at that time, all I knew was tax law and criminal law. I didn't want to be part of either. So I didn't really go the lawyer route. And so the music that I really got involved in high school is what pushed me towards, you know, studying music in college. But even then, I didn't think that I was going to be a songwriter or a recording artist. It was a long journey for me to realize that this is the place that I hold in the world, and this is something that I could really do well. and make an impact on people with. And the impact is the whole, I mean, it's the whole reason why I do anything. I really love people more than anything, and so the music is just the way that I was able to connect with people most effectively.
So was the Tourette's potential roadblock?
You know, I think it would have been if my parents weren't as great as they were, my mom especially. She was the one that really raised me, and she never, ever let me off the hook because of it. It was never, I just grew up from day one not seeing it as an exclusion or anything that gave me special treatment or anything that I could use as an excuse. And you know, when you're the kid that's like barking in English class in 7th grade, you're not really the top of the cool heap. You know, but I really was the bottom of the social ladder in junior high school. But what it did is that it taught me that having nothing to lose is a very powerful place to be. I mean, I had no social capital, but I could also then just be completely free to be myself. Right. Because there wasn't any fear of, oh, what if they don't think I'm cool? So I think that that really set me up from a young age to have a place where I could really connect with people, stick up for those who needed it, and just enjoy being myself. And if I wasn't connected to that, if I didn't know how to really connect with myself, then I could never make music that was worth listening to.
Well, I mean, it gives you another few levels of depth.
Well, yeah, because I mean, you've got to have that perspective. Right. At least for me, when I write from my own experience, that's where I draw my inspiration. If I can't connect with what's really important about what I go through day to day, then my CDs aren't worth buying. So I really kind of hold myself to that rigorous level of honesty, and then a real, as elegant of a communication style as I can maintain. Okay. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've told you my perspective on Casualties.
Yeah.
How do you see the project as a whole?
The record, well, it was, where it all came from and where the title came from and everything was, it was about, I would say about 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. And I realized that the way that I was in life, you know, late 20s, you know, relatively well-adjusted, successful musician, was very different than the way that I viewed myself. And when I thought of myself, I still saw that fat, girly, you know, pre-gay Tourette kid in junior high who was, you know, disliked by everybody. Or wasn't disliked, I just wasn't accepted. Okay. And I think there's definite difference there. So I thought, well, there's this gap in my understanding, and that's just garbage thinking, and that needs to go. So Casualties really was that ghost hunt, that answering the question for me of how do you close that gap? How do you sort of update the way that you view yourself to match the truth of who you are, rather than keeping yourself in that place of viewing yourself as you were. And that's where all the songs came from. Okay. And yeah, and
all laid out in a great journey for the listener.
Yeah, it was. You know, and I'm glad that listeners enjoy it. It was definitely a good process for me too. And you know, it wasn't. I was very ready to say everything that is on that record. You know, some records I feel like the songs are leading me, and there's definitely a dialogue between me and my work. You know, if it was a person, it would have a definite voice to me. But it was very nice to really understand, okay, these are things that I'm very ready to say. And I don't draw conclusions very much in my music. I more ask questions, and I really enjoy the questions more than the answers. But there's a little more conclusion on Casualties than there has been in my previous projects. And so that also excited me, because the stuff that I'm writing now is a whole new set of questions. Okay. So you know, I knew that like what was coming next was going to be a whole new set of growth and of questions and of issues that are gonna, you know, haunt me for the next few years.
Just through your own musical journey, I mean, Casualties is your what CD? How many of them?
It's my 6th.
Your 6th?
Yeah.
So from disc 1 through disc 6 and 7, what's your perspective on how your voice has changed?
Well, I'm a much better singer, for sure. My actual singing voice, yeah. I mean, you can really hear the progression of my musical ability, which I'm completely fine with. That's great. Like, if I'm not getting better with each record, then something's not going right. But I think the more that you do it, the better you get at it. And
Right.
for me, by better, I mean I became a better communicator. I discovered who I was musically. I discovered what it sounds like when I write lyrics that really hit the mark.
Right.
So I think my sense of what I wanted to say and who I wanted to say it to really has become more honed over the years. And the danger with that is you want to feel like you get it so that you can feel like you're doing it well. But if you back yourself into a corner and say, this is who I talk to and this
Right.
is how I make music, you run the risk of not growing. So that's sort of the point that I'm at now where, like I said, with Casualties, I felt like I came to more of a conclusion point in my music and in what I was saying. So now I'm really excited about the fact that there's so much more up in the air than there has been before. I mean,
A new chapter.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
So, how often do you tour?
I tour pretty often these days, mostly a city here and there. So I live in New York, I play there pretty often. I'm in Philadelphia tomorrow. I'm going to Atlanta Halloween weekend. I'll be out in California in November. So I like to keep, as busy as possible. I was just in Chicago a couple weeks ago.
So because the internet is forever, we're doing this live on September 18th of '09, but your website has full list of tour dates?
PhilPutnam.com. PhilPutnam.com has all my tour dates. And I'm also on Facebook. I'm on there all the time, so you can chat me. I will respond. I swear I don't sleep. I just type. That's all I do. And then I'm still on MySpace too, even though MySpace is like a ghost town now. I'm still, on there.
There's still a few people hanging on because you never know, even though it's owned by Fox.
Exactly. Which is the downfall of any good thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, when you come back, say a year from now, what do you want to be able to tell me?
I want to be able to tell you that I've got the songs written for my next album. That the book that I'm working on is almost done, because I'm also writing a book as well. I mean, that's the other side of my life, is I work actually as a literary author as well as a musician.
Can you want to drop any clues as to what the book is about?
Yeah, sure. There was a great cabaret singer named Nancy Lamotte, and she was a big star in San Francisco in the late 70s, and then New York from like 81 until 95. And she died of uterine cancer in 1995 at age 43. She was a really remarkable talent. And she was really the one that brought the kind of the Diana Krall, Michael Bublé, jazz-influenced standard sound into the mainstream. And so when she passed away, essentially she'd opened the door for artists like Michael Bublé and Diana Krall to come along and really bring that style of music to us on the top 40 charts. So through a number of people that I know that had worked with her, and through my work with her latest CD, I was asked to write her biography. Okay. Which just slacked my jaw. I couldn't believe it. But I'm just so grateful to be working with this story, and I've just started the research process for that. Okay.
And you've already got some interested parties.
Yeah, there are some large publishers that are interested, which I'm really excited about, and it's almost everything with Nancy. I mean, when you start talking about her and you discover the people that are still so attached to her, it really is an exciting thing to be a part of. So hers is just a really great American story that's yet to be told on a larger scale. And so that's really what I'm working with over the next couple of years.
Okay, so this is your time.
Yeah, I'm grateful for how things are going, and it's all to the credit of the fans and the media and those who have supported me.
Yeah, because we did when we were doing a little pre-interview. Yeah, you were telling me a lot of what's going on with you, and it's like, okay, this is great, this is great, this is great, this is great, this is great. Is this guy cocky, or does he have it to back it up? And you've got it to back it up.
Thanks, I appreciate that. It's funny. One of my friends recently asked me, like, well, if it doesn't work out, like, when do you know it's time to give up? And I'm like, well, that's the question that you ask yourself when nothing is going right, not when everything is going well and you're just waiting for something to really land. And so, this is a rare time. Artists, we work for a long time to get to that place where opportunities are abounding. So I am just incredibly grateful, and I don't take it for granted.
And I am very grateful that you took the time to sit with me today. And you're going to, in a moment or two, you're going to be sharing some of what you do best with our audience. And okay, and while you're setting up at the performance area, I just want to remind everybody out there that you can find, obviously, interviews like this, as well as over 100 others on our website at www.talkingabout.info.
Odd month, odd year, odd day for a beginning. New world, same fear. How's he gonna fit in here? Brown hair, green eyes, but this one, he's special. He'll take his time and do his best to fit in here. And I can't help but wonder, was he made for something more than this? Was he made for something more than this old world, this old life provides? So much alone, so clear, he's seen that there's more to own than what it takes to fit in here. So keep close, stand by, watch those around him. They'll change his mind about the way to fit in here. And I can feel him wonder, was he made for something more than this? Was he made for something more than this? Was he made for something more than this old world, this old life provides? And he wonders how his life could look to the angels who guard him at night. Are they working for a worthy cause, or is he just a waste of their fight? Was he made for something more than this? Was he made for something more than this? Was he made for something more than this old world, this old life provides? So dig down, sit still, 'cause this could get messy. 'Cause what would you kill to find a way to fit, find a way to fit, find a way to fit in here? So this next song actually is a ballad. I love my ballads, and this song was written for people in my life that I knew that were struggling and claiming victory with substance abuse. It's called Dancing Down Your Demons. You live with it, oh, you live with it. And nothing's gonna let you forget. It's who you are, it's not what you do. Taking apart the pain you inflict and working with secrets is no way to live. So it's one day and one room at a time, dancing down your demons, calling out the fates. When you're dancing down, you're taking ground away, away. When you're dancing down, when you're dancing down. It's easy to tell. Can you stare yourself down in the middle of hell? And the shame will try to kill you if it can. It fractures your will and you fall in defeat. And land where integrity and dignity meets, and you can move if you can stand here still, dancing down your demons, calling out the fates. When you're dancing down, you're taking ground away, away. When you're dancing down your demons, you're calling out the fates. When you're dancing down, you're taking ground away, away. When you're dancing down, when you're dancing down, dancing down. This last song is decidedly different than Dancing Down Your Demons. You may have seen the video, me in my underwear, with plenty of good friends in their underwear as well. The song was called I'm No Prize, and you can currently hear it on iTunes and philputnam.com. And thanks for watching. I wouldn't recommend believing what you see. I wouldn't trust how you feel. 'Cause right now you're thinking that I'm quite a fine, a handsome and witty and real. I can't disagree, my dear, but give us a few more dates and I guarantee that the reasons that you give for wanting me now are the reasons you're gonna flee. I'm no prize, I'm exactly the way you see me now. A carnival toy with a smile, like foamy rubber things that grow in water overnight. It's fun to watch me rise, whoa, whoa, but You swear the manner of man that I am is the kind of man you can't live without. But it's a drug, it's a high, it's hello and goodbye. And what goes up has to come down. I'm no prize, what you see is exactly what you get. Chatty and bratty and sharp, and I swear to you on Elton John's pink feather chaps, fantastic on the thighs. Whoa, whoa, but I'm no prize. I'm just trying to save you some time. I'm just trying to save myself another breakup line. I'm no prize. All my baggage is matching and packed, but mostly I'm just me. Like Christmas morning after all the novelty's gone. Tinsel and lights, whoa, whoa, but no prize. The remnants of my confidence just scissor kicking by. I ain't gonna lie, no, 'cause I'm the boy who everybody wants and the one nobody keeps. And that's just the way it flies. Whoa, I'm no prize. Thank you.